Yes. Welcome to Last Call React. This is where I drop a video at least once a week on something that's going on in the news. And just let me get right into it. Drop a video. This is it once a week, but hit me up in my live where I think we're going to have a lot to talk about. My live Fridays, 9 p.m. Do me a favor, even as we start, man. Like, share, subscribe. Now, you notice by the title and maybe even by the picture, I put in, excuse me, the Iryna Zarutska situation. Sorry for probably mispronouncing that name. And this is the lady, the Ukrainian refugee that was brutally taken out by another passenger on the bus. And the reason why I'm calling it the situation is because what a difference 24 hours makes. As where 24 hours ago, this was the biggest thing on the planet. 24 hours ago, politicians are weighing in. Donald Trump himself is weighing in. Now, I choose CNN. You've seen me choose Fox and other news media, so don't get put off by that. That's just something I'm using right now. As a matter of fact, that was part of the criticism that so-called liberal media was suppressing this case. Well, it sure wasn't suppressed around Fox. Anything else? All around the internet. Not just the criticisms, but the immediate divide kicked in also. The hate kicked in. Now, let me go through this. This is the day, of course. Normally I drop a video Tuesday-ish, maybe even Wednesday. Put it out there before my live on Friday. Check out my page. I'm sure there's something there that you'll like in the shows that I've done as well. Today, of course, is the day Charlie Kirk apparently has passed away from a wound, G-U-N wound, at a event in Utah on a college campus. And this very same day, I'll put in another school shooting. Yesterday, another school offing as well. But the way they tried to politicize this case, and believe me, it's tragic. It's tragic enough that her story coming here as a refugee, sure, that's very difficult, but somebody also finishing their shift at work at a part-time, full-time job, it looks like fast food or something like that, and then taking the public trans to just get home, and then being attacked so brutally. Nobody is defending that or victim blaming that or excusing that. Let's not get that twisted. And I got to say that for every video that I do, that this is one of the things that divides us is people think that we're okay, that we're all a monolith, and that we have the same moral compass, and agree on ridiculous stuff. No, there are people that hate crime too, that despise this too, that this had to happen. But there's a few things that they're doing a little bit differently. And of course, the M word is the M word. You do it, you pay the consequence, and that is it, especially unprovoked. We could all agree on that. But the fact that that's not the exact point. Conservatives want to use this as saying blue states, they're so lax and this and that, even though a lot of these things that happened in the last 24 hours are not blue states, which is interesting too. So you're going to send the guard, National Guard, over to those places? Denver. Then you need to go there, Trump. So interesting how just in 24 hours, this was at the focus. And now other things that dwarf this situation on a personal level, and even I'd say some of the international implications as well, her being a refugee and everything. It's just a shitty situation. This guy did a crime, whether he is now known to have mental health issues or not. He committed a very heinous crime. He needs to pay for it. And he's caught. When things are taken away, when there's no search or no what do you call it, resisting or anything like that, or any manhunt, people still want more. They already caught the guy though. So let's take it from there. That's what some of the differences are in the community. That when you guys do the crime, when you harass an 8-year-old child, call him the N-word, do this, that, beat a woman over a parking spot, you not get to go home for a few weeks, hang out while they decide whether they're going to do anything to you or not. So back into this. The suspect in the grisly slaying of a young woman on a Charlotte, North Carolina light rail now faces a federal charge. And again, the reason why we want to say federal charge here, that they instituted this, is because I'm betting the refugee status as well. The change they're going to have, America might have some very big questions if this is not handled appropriately, right? It turned into a political lightning rod in the country where she had come to seek safety. And I'm just going to say IZ as her name because I don't want to butcher it up too bad, or bad choice of words. I'm sorry. I don't want to, ruin her name too much. I was careful before, but I messed it up. She fled the Ukraine in 2022 with her mother, sister, and brother to escape the war with Russia. And she quickly embraced her new life in the United States, her obituary says. But on the night of August 22nd, moments after she texted her boyfriend to say she would be home soon, a man sitting behind her on the train stabbed her 3 times. I don't need to describe all of that. And I've never seen, there's a picture of her, a nice looking young lady, at that. She works and she got to this country doing what she's supposed to do. The suspect, 34-year-old, I'm sorry, I can't speak for whatever reason. DeCarlos Brown had a long rap sheet, and he did. I'm not even going to go through all of these things, but he now faces the state charge of first-degree murder and the federal charge of committing and acting death on a mass transportation system. And that could also be it, depending on if this transportation, if it goes to another state, if it's connected, stuff like that. They could really, and I hope people know that, committing crime on a residential street isn't the same as committing a crime on a, continental highway, or did I say that right? The one that stays in the goddamn, what it is. Sorry, I'm a little tired getting this down, but it's cool. We're getting through this, man. We're getting through this. And hopefully everybody who was a victim of either the gun violence or any sort of violence, traumatized by the close-up violence and situation that you've seen in all these situations, that you get help also, and that you find some peace from that. The federal charges comes with the possibility of the death penalty, of course, a punishment President Donald Trump says he supports in this case. Yeah, what are you saying now, Donald Trump? And why haven't we seen the goddamn list? Because you're on it. Everything else to distract you, distract the country from you doing what you're supposed to be doing. Prosecutors are still investing. The U.S. Attorney for Western District of North Carolina, Russ Ferguson, said Tuesday, Democratic and Republican leaders have traded barbs over whom or what is to blame in this case, and for violence nationwide. The debate simmers against the backdrop of the Trump administration vowing to fight crime by deploying federal troops in predominantly Democratic cities. And like we say, what kind of cities are these? In Utah? Here's what we know about the case that's polarizing the opinions across the country. Death penalty is on the table. Officials trade blame. All right. I'm not going to go through the whole thing over here. But again, he has a lengthy rap sheet, right? Talking about DeCarlos. He has a lengthy rap sheet. There's no denying what he did. It's in 4K. It's on the camera. He did it. The world saw him do it. There are no supporters. There's nobody making him a millionaire by putting money in his GoFundMe account. Okay? This is not how this goes, the way that even when the other people are wrong for their perpetrating in racially motivated events, they still get a cake load in their GoFundMe section. This is not that. This person is not getting that sort of support. On top of this, if that mental health issue is going to affect how the case is, then take him put him through the ringer of whatever it is that you need to do to lock him up. Maybe at this point, there's not the help that he could get. And if he needs to be locked up for the rest of life, or thus he's competent enough to stay in trial and get the death penalty, then that's what we need to see. And that's it. There's no sympathy or anything from this individual and why he did that. But to change it political and for people to say, there they go, when in 24 hours, there's two, that we know about, school shootings. There's this on university campus, one of the conservative leaders, and we need to see how that unfolds also. But is anybody blaming the skin of those individuals? With this case of IZ, he was well highlighted by the media and by your favorites, Fox News and all the rest. So this, although there have been crimes in the past, just go to any news in the USA. Go to any tab that you see 24, 48 hours or so that we're hearing about. But there are very vicious crimes that happen every day. And the fact that we highlight these ones maybe because, it's right there by the CCTV video camera or recording device, it gets to the top of the pile of interest for people to watch. Sounds wrong to say, but that's what it is. So hopefully this young lady gets justice. This man is treated the way he's supposed to be. He's going through the legal system, and that is that. But remind yourself, within the case of this coming out, one of your conservative leaders gets offed at an event in a Utah university. There is also 2 school offings. There's way more vicious things in the news. Well, maybe not vicious, but just as many vicious things going on as the news. If we're not going to make those political or look into those traits that we're so used to and immune to today, we got to look at the whole thing altogether. Check this out. This is the last call. I just wanted to put my opinion down. I don't know if I need to do a part 2 because of a lot of the news unraveling as well, and it's very quiet here. Check out the videos. Appreciate you for stopping by. Like, share, subscribe on your way out. Peace.